Market Vitals, how about we triage? Man, I'm going to triage right away. You shared, and I had seen this sort of thread before, because there's been just a ton of talk about this Chat GPT, right? And I'm a technologist, like I love technology, and I thought it was really interesting. Yeah. We're being live streamed to China. Got it. The Real Fly, he shares Chat GPT creators are 100% deranged. Now let's just talk about it a little bit, because it is AI, right?
Yeah.
But it still had to be programmed, right? It's still an algo programmed by humans. Like, you can't get past that. The AI didn't decide to create Chat GPT, right? A bunch of humans decided to create it. And in that algo is their fingerprint, right? And so you can't get past this, that is still part of the agenda when you see some of the interactions that I've seen people share. This one's shared by the Real Fly. Tell me a joke about a woman. I'm sorry, but I'm unable to tell jokes that might be considered offensive or inappropriate. Is there anything else I can help you with? Tell me a joke about a man. Sure, here's a joke about men. Why do men like smart women? Because opposites attract. I mean, and then, it won't write a poem about Donald Trump, but it'll write a glorifying one for Joe Biden. The propaganda is unbelievable. The other one I saw, the other one I saw was tell us who the majority owners are of ChatGPT. Sure, I can't share that information. Tell us about the majority owners of Tesla. Oh, it's, it is so clear that the fingerprint of the same. It's
another leftist utility. Absolutely.
Exactly what it is, Matt, a utility. Speaking of utilities, Matt, Bunzi shared this fail, and I've actually had not quite this bad, but that is a great looking pasta dish that I'm not familiar with. You being more
Carbonara.
Oh my God. And Matt, we will use anything to get the price discovery on this show. That's just what we do. And when I saw this, I immediately thought, hey, well, what does the wheat chart look like? Let's go to the wheat, Matt, because I kind of like the setup in the wheat right now. I like it from the long side because of the defined nature of the risk. I want your opinion, though. And that's what I like about being a standard deviation trader, is bouncing my standard deviation trading analogy against a profile trader and seeing if my trade holds any water. That's how we kind of do it.
Yeah. Well, I haven't looked at it in a while, but I got a long-term chart ready for you, and I would tend to agree with you as long as, kind of 700 holds.
$7.
Yeah. But,
for a bushel.
If you start pulling back, you maybe like 520 a little bit better. I don't know about.
I know. See, this is a perfect. Mark, that's actually good. Mark's on the keto diet, and he won't even trade complex carbohydrates. I kind of agree with that.
He sounds like the environmental.
Can't trade natural gas because.
No. He's the environmental assistant for Kevin Costner in Yellowstone that he was sleeping with. Remember, she wouldn't eat the meat, and then Beth was like, "There's grass. All they eat is the grass, which is wheat." And well, I don't eat wheat; it's got gluten. But you'll drink a wheat shot. Like the whole like they did a good job of the ridiculousness in the language there, I thought. And kind of
again, a great writing in the show is just put in the completely wrong era. Right. It should be 1864.
Well, they should have done that. Should have been the 1883 version with all the murders, right? And
exactly. Yeah. I mean, at least Sopranos, they were finding bodies in trunks of cars all the time.
Yeah.
I
don't know, Bob. Honestly, I don't love this.
All right, what is the top of that profile?
The top of that profile is 660.
Okay, because here's what I think happens a lot. We see this defined risk up higher, right? But the market likes to cause more pain than that.
Yeah.
And so
Well,
you start buying it there.
A perfect example of it that we can talk about again today as we're making another new low. And I said, it looks like we're going to 250 on natty gas. Well, shit, we could go to $1.50. That's where it traded before COVID. So if you are on board that, COVID lows will be seen at some point, it might be 10 years, but they will be seen again. Natty gas down here at 250 got down to 249 this morning. But again, the long term,
I listened to a bit of Shy Girls.
But I pulled it back a little
Yeah.
bit. I pulled it back same time frame they were looking at wheat back to 2020. I mean, $1.80 looks like a great spot.
Two things. I was listening to Shy Girl, and I have to listen to her from a different account because she blocked me, and I can't imagine why. But anyway, different story. Matt, two things here. So her space was all about the energy complex. And I also saw the tweet somewhere that Russia's import and exports are pre-invasion levels. So their gas, I don't care what you're telling me, their gas is, and their wheat and everything is getting to the market.
Yeah.
I don't care what the politicians are telling you.
Well, how about the big meeting, last week with, Xi and MBS out of Saudi. I mean, these guys are, like you said, they're continuing to do business. They have people, they have mouths to feed, they have, manufacturing to do. And, even Russia said, I think I might have posted that in the room today. The defense minister right on Telegram on his own channel from Russia yesterday said, these sanctions aren't working at all. We make everything we have, and anything we can't get, we get from Asia, and it's just as good as what the U.S. was selling us, and they're missing out on all the revenue. So to you, that's what he said.
Yeah. So the natty gas
wake
thing.
Up. Sanctions never, ever, ever work.
Yeah, the market finds a way, and products find a way to get into hands of buyers. That's just how it works. And so the full-fledged yours on natty gas. They did say in the space, though, that maybe the timing here, and this is counterintuitive, that in the summer, when you would think that natural gas demand is going to be at its lowest point, is actually when you might see that market explode, because the time lag it takes for China to come back online and to be resource driven from the demand side, it might be that long. And the other thing too is that, it's not an easy deliverable, liquefied natural gas. It's just not.
No.
And it's going to take time as China demand ramps up and those tankers get diverted to Asia, because like everything else, Matt, it's going to go to the highest bidder. And I don't care if that gas comes from Russia, from Canada, from the US, it's going to go to the highest bidder. So the timing is just wrong on that. Anyway, and the long-term chart lets you know. It absolutely lets you know. All right, Matt, the other thing I wanted to share, let's jump to some real estate stuff, because so many things have not shown up in the stock market in particular, but there for sure is the trickle of bad news in different places. And the one I saw was mortgage initiations down 40%. Sooner or later, that has to affect price. Now, it has affected prices somewhat, but I've read a bunch of things that's saying that the stock or the real estate market has found a bottom, and it's going to do nothing but explode from here forward. So yeah. Bring up a chart on real estate.
Okay, we can do that. Yeah, I think, again, everybody's waiting for the Fed quarter 50 point. Again, if they raise today, we're the highest we've been in 10, 15 years. So they're just saying at some point that does have an effect. But when all assets are rising, which again, we're back into that world, that's where we are. I mean, it's hard to, there's nowhere else for money to go but the US. Again, I keep saying this. if the dollar starts, if it ever gets a bid, which it has not gotten a bid in forever, watch out though. This thing could turn into, if that thing turns, I think everybody is full on the short right now on the dollar side, thinking it's going to zero. And I still don't think.
No, and I don't understand.
I don't think the long-term chart still supports that. However, that being said, XHB has been in a bullish chart here really since October, and made another new high here, took out the July high. So this is just the XHB. So I wanted to pull up a, retail ETF. There's a lot of overhead. I mean, I don't see this thing blowing through 87 and making a new high, but we're only at 68. So there's a lot of room between here and there. A lot of room up here to 75 on the profile. Again, this is a longer term chart. We got as low as 51 from a high of that 87 level. And this still is bullish. We tipped bearish down in here, but couldn't really maintain and make a new low here in October, which set a pretty nice bottom when it comes to this chart. So
give me a fibby on that.
It'll be
retracements.
Of which you want from the low
just
to the
high? The recent, the all-time high there to the low that they made down there, 51.10.
Yeah, but you want from the low in COVID.
How about you do your own fibby work and we'll work off of that.
Yeah, we came right to the 50%, basically. 55 was that level, 61.8 down here at 48. So that's bullish. If you are pure Fibonacci guy, anything above 48, 50 is bullish. So now you combine that with the market profile, and we're in the playground that we've been in now, really, since, I don't know, you'd have to go back to what is this time over here, but excuse me, I got this stupid little thing in my way. What is this? Where did we enter? This was like October of 20. So the October of 20 high was the recent low. So nothing, there's the level right there. And from that October 20 high, we basically doubled in housing. We went to, the highs of December of 21. So that matches up with the market. Listen, I talk to people, realtors in this town, there's still people coming by. You talk to somebody anecdotally that sold a house on one of the best streets here in Bend, somebody again knocked on their door. Californians are still the ones that are liquid and can get out are getting out. And that's not going to change. It's the Yellowstonification of America, right? All those people now are moving their shit to small towns because they see the writing on the wall because they're rich and they can afford to leave. A lot of people aren't going to be able to leave when you look at the demographics of California. You got old people and you got nobody coming in except for migrants. So you got everybody leaving. And you got no taxpayers, and you want reparations for if you have any colored skin, which you have some, colored skin. So
I am Black Irish, Matt. I'm wondering.
You are Black Irish. You should definitely raise your hand and say, "I need a $250,000 check."
Yeah, I will take.
In this world, I'm a zebra. I'm black and white. And
how much Sicilian you got in you?
None.
Northern Italian, pasta eater. All right, listen.
Meat eaters, Northern Italians.
Listen, I in that space, I had heard this because let's look at the dollar chart, and I didn't. Again, this seems counterintuitive, and I don't understand it. But he said that the majority of world debt is denominated in dollars, and that if there's defaults, there's going to be a big more demand for dollars. I don't understand that particularly. Either way, I think you're right in that people are expecting the dollar to collapse. And I'm with you on the longer term trend here that this is a pullback to be bought.
Yeah. I mean, we're just coming back to test, the highs that we saw when this thing first broke out. And that's right here at about, this was that first move. This was the fake out move right here in March of 20, right? Which is it, that was COVID. So similarly, the COVID high, which is this number, is now the kind of the basement for the dollar, the way I see it. So if you buy into that same premise, the reason why market started selling off because the dollar took off. Well, now we're back to this area where the dollar based. This was the second time it ticked up here, so we're testing this again. And really this level down here, and we've talked about it, 98, as long as that level holds, and there's tons of people interested in buying down there, that played out over a couple of years, 18, 20. So that was a good base. And then you have another base even below that down. And for me, this is the ultimate low. You got to get below 88 before the story's over. And then, that's a long way away. And again, we went all the way up to 115 area. We're at 102. It's basically right in the middle. I mean, if you were to draw a fib from, the most recent lows to the most recent highs that we saw during COVID, again, that was down here, 89. Everybody was bearish the dollar then, like they are now. I think they're more bearish now than they were here. Here they were so convinced that we were going to hell in a handbasket, and they didn't, right? And that's when the market turned at the end of 21, end of 21, 22 is when the market put a top in, and the dollar put that in for them. So if this has another leg up, Bob, 89 to 114 is $25. 25 from here gets you to 130. And let me remind you of, where that next level is. 120 is the next level. We saw, back in 85 as high as 163.
They're interesting too. One of the follows that we like to rip on is Chamat, right? But he did say something interesting this week that I saw, in that he thinks that the Fed's going to have to keep rates high for 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
there's so many people that think that they're going to start cutting rates by the end of this year.
Yeah,
and the market, it's insane to me to think that they're going to just lace this down. It's a 72-yard field goal into the wind, and they got the kicker for this. Because they told you they did, right? They told you, don't worry, we see a soft landing. We got the kicker that can just lace this one into the wind. By the way, Matt, here's a question to you. I've always said, why don't they, on long field goals, why don't they let the kicker be like, put him out like where the slot receiver would be, right? And put him in motion, right? Instead of 2 steps into kicking, put him in motion so he could get a running start, and then you could kick a 70-yard field goal. These guys kicking through the goalposts on a kickoff when they can have a running start.
I don't think it's easier to plant in full stride and kick, though.
Well, for sure not in Buffalo, last weekend.
I'm just saying, anytime.
But
I think your suggestion is more physics, more speed gives you
Let me ask you this question. Distance. Is it illegal for the holder to put the ball on their toe like we did in grade school? Elevate.
Don't know. You'd have to ask Roger Goodell. I don't know the rules.
Elevate. Anyway, the Fed and their 72-yard field goal kicker on everyone's mind.
But, the good news, Bob, the good news now today is Hamlin is, really promoting hands-only CPR, because now that is, if we just can teach everybody that, everybody will survive their heart attacks. So thank you, Tamar. Hamlin.
Well, let me go to the thing, because to the share, because now, Matt, breathing too many times in a day will raise your risk of deadly heart attack. So please stop breathing.
I mean,
this
who knows where that's from? I saw that
service announcement. Yeah. It could be fake. I don't like. Listen, most of the world is fake.
Somebody posted that in the chat over the last day or two, and then I'm like, well, who's saying that? Like, that just looks like a made up meme, but
it's good though.
It's good
because weather causes them.
I think it's a Babylon Bee onion move. I don't know.
All right, this is fact here, Matt, from Jane Potvin. Great hockey name, by the way. From 1850 to 1936, cannabis was used as the primary medicine for more than 100 separate illnesses and or diseases in the U.S. Man, I had no idea that they had the strains ready back in the 1860s, right? The indica couch. Indica was the primary one as far as this. We haven't talked pot stocks in a while. Smoke them if you got them. If you got a blunt, please pass it. But let's look at a few pot stocks. This is the story that I keep loving to fade.
I just like to bring up the long forever chart, because I think that does.
Here's my question.
Yep.
When did this chart start? May of 14?
Yep.
Till
today.
Till 2017. Right. So 3 years sideways. I think we got another couple years sideways before this thing can get off the mat. I mean, I'm just looking at the chart.
I mean, it's got to get over $5 to, to get up to $20.
Man, imagine.
And it's so heavily owned that, they're trading amongst themselves at 8 million shares a day. So good luck with that. That's a lot of spin going on with a $3 stock.
Okay. My pot stock portfolio isn't going to do it. That's what you're telling me.
I don't think it's
all right, man. We've been.
But I do think coming back to Chat GPT. Let me throw out a name for you here, because I think that if you have AI again in the name of your stock right now, that's a good thing. This is the new GPTs. Chat GPT stocks are the new NFTs, right? This thing was, and I wish I were smart enough to think this far out, because we've been talking about Chat GPT for 3 months. Why didn't we buy AI at the end of the year?
When it was just the name got
just the name alone. I don't know what it does. Nobody does. That's the point. It's up another 4% today. 20. It's doubled. It's doubled in a month. Really, it's doubled in 3 weeks. Look at less than 2 weeks. This thing was $13, $12 just back here, 1 week ago. Not even a week ago. In 1 week, it's doubled. So if you missed it, people, you missed it. Okay, just like I did. Move on. Don't chase it. Don't chase it.
All right, man. We got everybody's waiting on the Fed here.
Quarter 50. Maybe they do 75. That would be a good job of crushing the market a little bit and getting the twitch out. I mean, everybody is long again. Everybody is long, and you have to be long if you're long. If you're long only, you're always long. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts is
I'm so tired of these events that just stop the market.
I know. It's ridiculous. My thought is that the weekly chart is in a particularly precarious position if we rally and close the week strong. Now that's the big if.
Yeah, the thing for me is everybody's long. Everybody's long. Retail's long, hedge funds are short everything, right? And they've been wrong all month. They were short in the hole. They got short, late already. So now what? Do we need to go to another level to take them out? Take out the hedge funds and give retail one more. I told you we're right. We're so smart. Ape on AMC, babe. I mean, shit, you got all this money, but the money's sloshing around. When you see stuff like that, like AI, there's no sense. There's no reason except for it's got the name AI, and Chat GPT is the shit of the day. So since Chat GPT won't tell you who owns them, I got to get a piece of this by owning AI. I mean, that's the thought process. So, and it works until it doesn't. It's musical chairs is always the game in Wall Street. And can you be ahead of before the music even starts playing? Can you buy before the music starts playing when nobody else is buying? When nobody else was buying AI in the 10s, were you buying? Tip the hat to you if you were. That's the way good traders trade, right? If you're running a fund and you're thinking through that thing, Bill Gates is already telling you there's going to be another plandemic. So which stocks is he involved in that you want to buy now that that are going to be the drugs? I've offered one before and it paid off. That was SIGA. Well, guess what? SIGA is another stock that has been, it went up last time. We had the next plandemic when they were talking, about this stuff a while ago. And it's there again. I mean, let me just bring up the chart, because here's another one. If you want to gamble, this is a stock to gamble with. SIGA back in balance down here in the 6s, 7.25, went all the way up to 27. I mean, if they're going to have another pandemic, whether it's this month or next month, Bob, this is going to happen, and this thing probably will go through the moon again because Bill Gates is involved. And so if you want to trade like Bill Gates, then you probably want to buy this.
A beautiful risk reward too, because right. I mean, it spends so much time. Even if it goes to the low end of the profile, it doesn't look like it's going to just go to zero.
Exactly. So, and it's only worth $500 million today. So, and it's a, it's a smallpox vaccine. There you go.
All right. I think that's what we wait on. We wait on the Fed.
But I think
to
that's,
give us a
but I
little
think
more
that's,
direction.
I guess the point is you have to think really contra all the time. Contra is where the money at. The money is not being with the masses. I know you like the momentum, but playing musical chairs was never a game. Here's why I never liked musical chairs as a kid, because I was the big kid always, and I would throw you off that chair to begin with. So I won, but then I got shamed by the mom whose little kid I tossed aside. Then so like I'm scarred from that shit. So
first of all, you tripped on the way up.
No, I was always very
first step trip.
Very nimble, no problem there.
All right, man. I'm gonna
shockingly, people look at my size and go, "Wow, he moves darn good on the tennis court. He moves darn good in the squash court." Imagine if he was light; he'd really kick my ass. He already kicks my ass.
Hey, Matt. By the way, wheat up 6 cents since we talked about it.
Okay,
6 cents. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful information from Market Vitals. Buy the wheat. That's it. That's our show. Please visit us at marketvitals.io. Please go to amazon.com and buy some shrimp mojo and do yourself a favor and cook someone a meal.
Real simple. You got to close above 4,200 for the bull story to continue. You got to close below 4,000 for the bear story to continue. That's where we are.
I agree 100%.
And we're sitting at 40.70. So place your bets.
Lee, I have just secured a baseball jersey, soon to have a Manja Cleaver ironed onto it, and will be off to you for your. Listen, I'm a big fan of baseball jerseys for summer drinking season. All right, summer drinking season. Don't worry about. I know what your size is. Fucking guys telling me the size. Come on,
large.
I'm fucking better than that.
Medium large.
Anyway, baseball jerseys, the best summer drinking attire there is. Nothing to fuck with you in your neck, it's just comfortable for the summer barbecue. A big fan of the baseball jersey for that. All right, thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lee. Please retweet the broadcast. Please do not like this broadcast. And by the way, how about all the bullshit about locking accounts and how you get more views, but you can't retweet. Nobody can retweet you. It's amazing the dunce caps that are worn on a daily basis as we take another trip around the sun.
Even Tim Knight is so bored. He's doing your.
Yes.
He's doing your.
Listen, Tim, we did this shit 2 months ago.
This is what we have to say. We have to say that mimicry is the best form of compliments, right?
Yes. Come on.
And just like your boy Jimmy Urio, he's doing the guys in the pit, doing the whole thing. Well, Jim, we've been doing this for 3 years, my friend. Come on.
Let's go. All right, that's what we got. Thank you very much. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Lee.
Still got to know how to trade. Got to know how to trade.
Excel. See ya. That's Excel. That's the Microsoft program. Excel.
Spreadsheet.
Excel. Definitely. All right.
Oh, my son said he's in Vegas for work for the week, and he saw a guy drop over in the slot machine, and somebody had to give him CPR. And the slot machine.
A, dude. I don't like it, Matt. I don't like any of it.
Swimmer from Arizona.
Yep, I know. You don't have to fucking tell me.
Nobody
I know. I gotta go too. Thank you.